Hey everyone, and welcome to Hooked on Needles and Crafts. Today we're going to be continuing doing Annie's Crochet Afghan Block of the Month Club. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in. And for my new viewers, please consider subscribing, share, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and click on that notification bell for future videos. So today, you guys, we're going to continue this packet of blocks. We have done blocks 16 and 17. Today we're going to do 18. If you don't know Annie's, it's a subscription. You can set the frequency to once a month or twice a month, and each kit is about $20 plus tax and all that jazz. Is it worth getting? Well, you know, I kind of did the math with all of the blocks required for this kit, and it seems like it kind of would add up to an authentic handmade Afghan, I think. I remember looking for one years ago and it was really expensive and I was shocked, but it was handmade and the material is really nice. They do use Premier yarn and it's anti-pilling, which is great, and it feels so soft. So the quality is definitely there. And then you also get metal hooks. You get 2 of them. So again, the quality is there. And then you also get stitch markers. I always talk about these. These are a mix of all the stitch markers. Not all of them, I actually have more. Of most of the stitch markers that I have, some of theirs are in here. So you shouldn't have to get that, but that's the first kit you get. And then thereafter, you just get the 3 spools of yarn and a booklet. I did get the very last kit, and it's really cool. You get, I'll probably hopefully show you because I'm trying to finish this blanket at least this year. You get a little foam block where you assemble all the patterns. It's small, it's not huge, but I guess that's where you're gonna put your needles and all that stuff to put it together. I don't know, I'll have to see the instructions for that. But on their website they do have different kinds of blankets. I chose 2. We're gonna do this one first. The other one I got was the Mediterranean one, in case you were looking to get that one and assemble it with me. But anyway, these videos are not going to be showing any instructions due to copyright. What I do is I help do new stitches at least 3 times step by step, and then thereafter I'll go my own pace. If you need to speed up or slow down the video, go ahead and click on the gear button in the corner. There's playback options to go fast or slow. If you don't need to hear me talk, you could always lower the volume on your device and click on the CC closed caption button. Alright, so let's get this started. We're gonna do block 18. And so I got the yarn here. I always mention this. There's 2 ends to this yarn. One is the outside yarn. The other end is inside the spool. And I like to find the one that's inside the spool. But beware, because some of these spools tend to trick you. This one right here, oh, it's coming out of the middle. Maybe this is the inside end. It's not. Pull this out. You're going to find the end very easy, but it's actually the end to the outside. You don't want the one to the outside because in order to use this, you're going to have to remove the banding and then it's going to roll around, and I don't like that. So take that end and we're going to wrap it around the middle, and we're gonna put our little band right over it because I don't even want to see it. Hide. Okay, then what you want to do is go in here and you're just gonna do some searching. Sometimes you get really lucky and the other end is just chilling out there somewhere, and then sometimes it's not. So last block I got really lucky and I found it. If I don't find it right away here, I am going to pull a chunk of this out and it's going to be very shocking. But don't be too shocked because we'll end up using it, but you need to find that other end. So I'm grabbing a strand here and I'm just going to pull it, and I can feel that it pulled out a chunk. So that's why it's a little shocking. Try to pull like one strand and not a whole bunch, because you want to pull as little as possible, but we found the end here. It's right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get to this end, because that's the end that we're going to use to start with. Okay, once you get into that, you can situate this off to the side, but let me show you why you want the inside. So now I can just pull the middle. I'm not even putting any weight on it, and it's just pulling, it's not rolling around. And that's exactly what you need to happen to just have an easier crocheting or knitting experience. I'm going to put this off to the side. All right, and we're going to use this end here. Now we have to cast on with a slip knot to start our project today. So what you want to do is take your ring, pinky, and thumb and hold one end. Then you want to take your index and middle and hold the other end apart. Okay, and then we're going to take the hook. They specify which hook to use. So we're going to go and lie this perpendicular to the yarn. We're going to go down, out, and around to create this loop around our hook. You can slide your hook up and down. Now we're going to slide it down towards our thumb. Take your middle finger and just hold it right where it crosses so that you can let go of your left hand. Then we're going to gather up some feeder yarn here, and we're going to re-pinch the end as low as you possibly can go. Then we're going to slide the hook further down towards your thumb, and where it crosses, just pinch it so you can no longer slide your hook up and down. Then we're going to yarn over, which is putting the feeder yarn over the hook. So yarn over. Then we're going to pull this strand through this loop. So hook it and pull it through that loop like that. Then I'm going to overhand my hook. I'm going to re-pinch my end. And then I'm going to push my knot towards my thumb. Keep pushing down on that knot until you can no longer push it anymore because it is getting tighter. And then once you get to a point where you can't push anymore, just take your thumb and your middle finger and let's pull this excess piece a little bit more to make that knot nice and snug. You don't have to pull it too hard, but then take the knot and slide it up towards your hook and leave some space so that we can start working. Okay, so now I'm going to take some feeder yarn. I tend to put a lot of this on my finger. There's daintier ways of doing this. I like to do it this barbaric way. Okay, and then what I'm going to do next is hold down the knot. So take your middle finger and thumb. We're just going to stabilize this knot so that we can move our hook around, and trust me, it'll be a lot easier when you hold that knot. And we're going to do row 1. So we have to do a bunch of chain stitches, and a chain stitch is the most basic stitch in crocheting. So let me show you how to do that. We're going to yarn over, which is putting the yarn over the hook, and then we're going to pull this strand through the loop, and that's a chain. We have a loop on this side, a loop on the other side, and we turn it on its side, there's a loop in the back. So a chain is pretty much made up of 3 loops. So let's do this again. We're going to yarn over, which is putting this yarn over the hook. We're going to pull this strand through the loop, and now we have 2 chains. Again, we have a loop on this side, a loop on the other side, and flip it on its side, and you can see the loop in the back. Alright, one more time with you guys. We're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull this through the loop, and we've made another chain. So now you have 3 chains. We have a loop on this side, loop on the other side, turn it on its side, and then you have a loop in the back. So I'm showing you the parts of a chain because we're going to have to use these loops in the next part of this instruction. So for now, you can rewind this video as many times as you need to get the number of chains required for row 1. but I'm going to go ahead and complete the number of chains on my own, and then we're going to do the next part of this instruction. Alright, so this is great practice too. As you can see, this happens over time, but the more you do these, the more consistent the sizes are going to be, and I think that works best when you do these projects. So even if you want to practice on your own time, and I used to do that, just make really long ropes of chains. One year I did just one rope of a really pretty yarn, and I used it as garland for my Christmas tree. But anyway, I'm going to go off camera and just recount these stitches to make sure that I have the right count. Alright, and then once you've got that completed, we're going to move to the next part of this instruction for row 1, and we have a DC, which stands for double crochet stitch. So let me show you how to do that, and this is pretty much universal for any instruction, so I can go ahead and tell you the next parts. So it tells you to skip the fourth to the fourth chain from the hook. So from this hook, we're going to count the completed chains, not the one on the hook, but starting from the one after this loop here. So we're going to count 4. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're going to be sticking our hook into this 4th stitch. Now the way that I like to do it, I like turning it on its side, and those back humps that I told you about, we're going to stick our hook into the back hump. So in the 4th chain from the hook, turn the chains on its side and stick your hook into that back hump. Alright, so as we're looking at it, there's one loop around your hook. If you flip it upside down, you have the braid on the underside. This is going to give you a really nice finish, even though you're going to cover it up. It's also, when we do our edging, you're going to have 2 loops to work with as opposed to just 1. Anyway, well, 2 nice loops. You do work with 2 loops at the end, but I like putting my hook into the back hump here. Alright, now I took that out so we can do it again. So to do a double crochet stitch, they tell you to skip 4 chains because you stick the hook in the 4th chain, and these 3 chains here, they become the height of the hook. I mean height of the double crochet stitch. So as you see I'm laying these chains straight, I'm making pretend that we're going to do our double crochet stitch in this chain. It's gonna automatically drive those 3 chains up. So universally, when you have a bunch of chains and you make a double crochet stitch after, it takes 3 chains to make the height. So once you're here, you should automatically know, oh, double crochet stitch, let's use 3 chains. So it changes between stitches, but I'm teaching you that double crochet stitches after a chain stitch is 3 chains. Alright, so let's do a double crochet stitch. We're going to yarn over, right? And then again, we're going to stick our hook into that 4th chain, into the back hump, like that. And then you're going to yarn over, and we're going to pull up a loop. Then we're going to yarn over, and we're going to pull through 2 loops. Then we're going to yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. So this right here is a double crochet stitch. You've got this tall looking thing here, but when you look at the top, it still looks like a braid. You have your front and back loops. All right, and then this right here is the 3 chain spaces. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. And in the instruction, it says that the first 3 chains counts as the first double crochet stitch. Okay, so what I'd like to do, just so that later I'm not looking for it, I'm going to take a stitch marker and I'm going to place this under the front and back loops of that 3rd chain. So you can kind of see it here. This is a very nice light color, so you can see it. There's 1, there's 2, and there's the 3rd one. Put it under that front loop and put it also through the back loop. And when you're doing this, you want to make sure that you didn't pierce the yarn. You want to make sure that you cleared it and it's going right underneath those 2 yarns. You can tell because if I pull this, I'm seeing a hole and I'm not seeing the yarn. So we can close this, and this is going to tell me this is where my hook needs to go for the last stitch. Okay. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to do 2 more double crochet stitches, and then we'll move on to the next step. So yarn over. We're going to put our hook into the back hump of the next stitch. So there's the next stitch. Turn it on its side. We're going to put our hook into the back hump. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. So we have 3 loops. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and we have 2 loops now left. Then we're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through those 2 loops. So here's our second double crochet stitch. We turn on the top. You can see it's a braid. We have our front and back loops. So let's do another one. Yarn over. Stick your hook into the next stitch, turn it on its side, back hump right here. Then we're going to yarn over and you're going to pull up a loop, so we have 3 loops. You're going to yarn over and we're going to pull through 2 loops. And we have 2 loops left. Then we're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through those 2 loops. So now you see we have our next double crochet stitch here. We turn on top and it's looking like a braid. We have a front loop and a back loop. And then here are the other double crochet stitches. Alright, so the rest of this instruction is pretty much telling you to do the double crochet stitches and then turn. I'll come back in before I turn so I can show you what that looks like. But in the end of this row, there's a parentheses and then there's a number with DC or double crochet stitches. That number is going to tell you how many of these double crochet stitches you have. But remember, this 3 chain here is going to count as 1 double crochet stitch. So don't forget to count that one. But yeah, so you can rewind this video as many times as you need until you're comfortable doing the double crochet stitch on your own. But I'm going to go ahead and do the rest, and then we're going to come back in at the end of this row. Alright, so for this last one here, you see how this might not work because this is very tiny. I'm very proud of myself. But I like to try to tuck in these ends. So try to flatten your excess piece. We're going to yarn over, right over that, and we're going to pull up a loop. Then we're going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So by flattening that excess piece over the hook and stitching over it, we kind of stitched right over the excess piece, so it's at least tucked away a little bit. If it doesn't work out, you can either trim it, or when we do our edging, you can crochet it into the edging. But now this is the end, right? I'm going to go off camera real quick, and I'm going to just count to make sure that the number of double crochet stitches equals to the number in those parentheses, and then not to forget that this one here, the 3 chains, is equal to 1 double crochet stitch. Alright, now once you've double checked your count there, we're going to turn it. And to turn it, we have all our stitches on the right side. It's like going that way. We just have to turn it over like this so that now all the stitches are on the left. Alright, so it tells you to do to check out the pattern notes. And what this means, it's pretty much telling you what I told you about the double crochet stitch. When it's a double crochet stitch, and this is universal wherever you go, it's going to be 3 chains that you have to stitch before you do the double crochet stitch. Oh, let me put a stitch marker here. That way I know which one is the last one. I like putting these. So put it just under the last stitch you made, clear the braid, you don't want to split it. Okay, so what we have to do is, since we're going to do double crochet stitches in this row, we're going to do 3 chains. Alright, and this is going to make the height of the next row. So, it says see digital stitch guide, and I don't know what that is. I'm sure it says it in the front cover or something. But I know what an fpdc is. So an fpdc is pretty much a front post double crochet stitch. So I'm going to show you how to do that at least 3 times. So okay, so we're going to go into the next stitch here. So normally we would go in here, but they say that these 3 chains is going to count as the first double crochet stitch. Alright, so now we're just going to move on to the next stitch. So we're going to yarn over, and what you're going to do for a front post double crochet stitch, instead of going into the chains, we're going to go around the front post. So you see how you see your little double crochet stitch out by its lonesome right here? We have some space on each side. Stick your hook into this closest side here, and we're going to come out just underneath it on the other side. Okay, so we're just poking through this double crochet stitch here. Alright, and then we're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull up a loop, so you have 3 loops. Then you're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull through 2 loops, and then with 2 loops, then we're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull through those 2 loops. So if you kind of take a look at it closely, you can see that we just did a stitch right around the front post of this double crochet stitch, and then we did a double crochet stitch. So let me show you how to do this again. We're going to yarn over, and you're going to put your hook just around the next double crochet stitch in one side, out the other side, and you see the stitches are just chilling up here. We're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull up a loop, so you have 3 loops. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops, so we have 2 loops left. Then yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. Alright, so that's what it looks like. double crochet stitch, another double crochet stitch on top of it. Let's do one more, you guys. So yarn over, stick your hook around the next double crochet stitch here, in through one side, out through the other. And let's flip this backward. See, we're just going around it. Okay. Yarn over and pull up a loop, so you have 3 loops. Then yarn over and pull through those 2 loops, so you have 2 loops left. You're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through those 2 loops. Alright, so we've done this 3 times now. You should probably have an idea of how to do the front post double crochet stitch. But now I'm going to teach you how to do the back post double crochet stitch. So you can have kind of an idea of what that's going to be. It's pretty much going to be the opposite of what we did. So yarn over into the next double crochet stitch. We're not going through the front, we're not going through the stitch, we're going to go through the back. So you can kind of tilt it so you can see the back. We're going to go through one side of the double crochet stitch and out the other. And then if you flip it to the front, this is what it's looking like. But now we can yarn over and pull up a loop. So you have 3 loops, sorry. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops, so we have 2 loops left. Then we're going to yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. So as you can see, the front loop removes this line here, makes it a little puffy, and then doing it back post, it makes a huge line right across, and it kind of tucks away these double crochet stitches in the back. And then if you look at it this side, it's just going to be the other way around. This one piece is puffy and the other 3 are kind of tucked back behind this line. Alright, so now now the rest of the instructions is telling you to do another front post double crochet stitch. So I've shown you how to do that, so let's go ahead and do that, because I gotta still show you how to do the back post double crochet stitch. So let's just breeze through the front ones first. Alright, now let me show you how to do the back post double crochet stitch. I'm yarning over into the next double crochet stitch. We're just going to flip this on its back, and we're going to go through one side around a double crochet stitch and out the other side. So when we look at it this way, it'll look like that. Then we're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. So we have 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, we have 2 loops left, and then yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. Alright, so let's move ahead with our forward post double crochet stitches so that I can show you guys one more time how to do the back post double crochet stitch. Alright, so one more time, yarn over into the next double crochet stitch. We're going to tilt this towards the back. We're going to go in through the back way from one side, out through the other side around the double crochet stitch. We're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull up a loop, so you have 3 loops. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops, so we have 2 loops left. Yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. Okay, so this is what it's looking like right now. We're just making like some squares, it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of this row. You can rewind the video as many times as you need to complete this. But then, let's see. We have to do a different stitch at the end, and I'm going to teach you how to do that. So let's go ahead and do the rest of it. Alright, so after you finish all this, we have the last stitch to do. It's going to be an HDC, which is a half double crochet stitch. So let me show you how to do that. So we're going to yarn over, and this is going to be normal. We're going to stick our hook into that where that stitch marker is underneath those two loops. Okay. So then we're going to yarn over again, and you're going to pull up a loop, so you have 3 loops. Then we're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull through all 3 loops, and that's a half double crochet stitch. All right, so I'm going to take another stitch marker, and we're going to place this under the last stitch we made. We're going to turn. All right, and then we are going to do row 3. I'm laughing because I messed up the first stitch for row 2. I did 3. It's only supposed to be 2. What can you do? Either way, I'm going to just mark where that top chain is. The good thing about the chain is it could be scrunched, so it'll be like nothing ever happened. All right, let's move on to the next row. All right, so let's turn this. I'm gonna gather up some more yarn here. We're gonna do row 3. So yeah, I was laughing because for row 2, it clearly says in bold, chain 2. And now I'm guessing because it's supposed to be a half double crochet stitch on each end, and the 2 chains are acting the height of the half double crochet stitch. So for row 3, we're gonna chain 3. And the parentheses was just, it's just reiterating. I thought, I don't know what I was thinking. But anyway, so we're going to chain 3. The height of a double crochet stitch. And then we're going to be doing some double crochet stitches, so let's do that. And again, this 3 chain here is going to count as 1 double crochet stitch. Okay, and then it has you doing, we're going to do a forward post double crochet stitch, and this we've done already 3 times, so let's just do that now. Okay. And then we're going to repeat everything within the brackets all the way across up to the last stitches. So let's do that now. So it's looking like each time we do these blocks, it's such a perfect way to learn stitching. So this block in particular is teaching you front post and back post stitches. That's something that I learned kind of later on when in life. I learned crochet as a kid, and I did the basic stitches, and then I would kind of venture off and get beginner booklets. And these booklets have, like, you know, pattern blocks like this. I did one for doilies, and they would have stitches like this using the front post, back post. So this is how you're going to learn. So I mean, it is an expensive kit to do, or kits to do, but at least you get to learn a lot. Different kinds of stitching so far, because I haven't even done halfway through the kit. I think I've only done 9 blocks so far. I don't know if I did any more than that, but each one has been a different kind of stitch, so that's exciting. Okay, so now that we're in the end, we're going to be doing just double crochet stitches. Not too hard. All right, so now that we finished, I'm going to put in my stitch markers. I'm going to put 2 actually. I didn't go and put one at the top of the 3rd chain here. So I'm just going to go back in and get that in there, and then go on this side and do the top of that double crochet stitch we just did. And then I'm going to turn, and then let's see what they have us doing next. So this is going to be for rounds 4 through 19. So it looks like this is pretty much the pattern, and it's just going to repeat. So let's say that this one right here is 4. Now I just have to get the number of markers to get up to 19. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. And I'm going to count one more time. I always like to count twice. Count twice, mess up maybe not once. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay. So I know that for the next rows 4 through 19, I have to use up all these stitch markers. This one's 4. So if I have to stop, take a day, take a week, take a month, take a year, who knows, I know that at least I have to finish this much of stitch markers. Now, if you notice, I have been putting extra ones to mark the chains, the top of the chains here on each side. So don't count those in there. So you can grab from your other pile. And by the way, the 2 packets they give you do have a decent amount of stitch markers in there. I still recommend that you get more because you never know if it's going to be enough. But I'm going to pick from this pile to use at the top of my chains, just because I don't want to guess. You know, when I get to this stitch, I just want to know where to stick my hook in, because sometimes things bunch up, and chains are already small to begin with, so that's a tip that I gladly share. Alright, so for rows 4 through 19, I'm going to do in silence. Again, I'm going to use these up, but I'm going to add these for the top of my chains in case you're wondering what I'm doing. And then we'll pop back in at round 20 and we'll finish up what that says. Alright, so I've completed the block, and I even had to go whip out more stitch markers. I have a ton of these, but we're going to continue with the edging, or, well, round 20. So if you notice, and I've learned this doing amigurumi kits, when it's a row, it talks about this, back and forth, straight rows. A row is a row. Now the last part is a round because you are going around. It's not meant to be a circle, although in amigurumi it says round because it's literally round, but round is when you're going around over and over again, and rows are back and forth. So that's another tip that you should know. Okay, so what we're going to do now is switch to the smaller hook. So I'm just going to pull this loop out a little bit. Take this and switch out to the smaller hook. Going to gather up some yarn here. Now, this has pretty much been standard for all the blocks so far. So we're going to be doing a bunch of single crochet stitches, and it's universal that you do one stitch for one chain for a single crochet stitch. So it's 2 chains for a half double crochet stitch, and it's 3 chains for a double crochet stitch. So you can see the size heights of each one, and putting this all together, it's really interesting when I learned about it, because I've only used single crochet stitch and double for a very long time. I didn't really venture off. I didn't do anything different. And then when I learned all these other stitches, it's like, oh, okay. Light bulb. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to turn our block this way. So the side is now going to become the top. And we're going to chain 1 for the height of our single crochet stitches. And then we're going to be doing single crochet stitches, and we're going to space them out evenly down here. So what I want to do is, it tells you the number of stitches you need. I would just try to evenly spread it out. And it kind of gives you a little help. Each little section here has 2 rows, so you can kind of guess where you're going to put your hook in. It's not set in stone, so you don't really need a specific place, just spaced evenly. So let me just see here for a sec. All right, so in my head, I'm looking at the spaces here, and I'm evenly spacing out some stitches. Just for my knowledge, I'm going to pull out 4 stitch markers, and I'm actually going to just put them in spots where I want to see some extra stitches. So again, this isn't going to be, doesn't have to be scientific or anything. I'm just visually taking a look at this and saying, hey, let's put one here. And you know what? I don't even know why I did it this way, but all these extra ones, I'm just going to take off. Essentially, I probably didn't have to put all this here. I mean, the extra 4 that I just picked out. Okay, let me just double check my count off camera. All right, so now for the next part we're gonna do, we're gonna go into the stitch on the bottom, and remember how I had you put it in the back hump only? Now we get to work with a nice pretty braid that's easy to see where we're putting our hook. So I'm going to put this into the first stitch here, and we're going to do our corner single crochet stitches. So go ahead and do that now. All right, and then once you do that, we're going to go and I got to see how many stitches we have on here because it might be more than what we need, but then again, evenly space out the single crochet stitches alongside this side now. All right. All right, let me double check my stitches. Okay, then we reached another corner, so I'm going to do my corner single crochet stitches in here. All right, so we have to do the same thing on the next two sides. Let me just check the camera speed. The camera length, or wow, the video length. If we're nearing 2 hours or over 2 hours, I'm just going to do this off camera and come back in to fasten off. If we still have time, then I'll just do these two sides and sides. So I did the other two sides off camera. I think we're already over 2 hours here. We're going to fasten off. So what we're going to do is find the first single crochet stitch we did, which is right here. You're going to want to stick your hook into that single crochet stitch. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through all loops off the hook like that. Then what you're going to do is you're going to cut about 1 inch or so. and we're going to yarn over. You're going to pull through the loop all the way out, and we're going to tighten up that loop, creating a knot, and then we're going to weave this in and out of the edging. Okay, and this is our finished square or block. Not so shabby. Comment below, let me know how it went. Okay, so we finished another booklet. I have a playlist if you want to catch all the blocks from this kit. Obviously, we're gonna open it up. We're gonna open up another kit and see. It's probably gonna be another 3 blocks, but we are getting there. I'm determined to finish this, and hopefully, I'll be able to start the other blanket, which is the Mediterranean one. It's got some really nice colors, so I'm looking forward to doing that. At any rate, thank you so much, you guys, for watching. This is Hooked on Needles and Crafts. Please share, like, and subscribe for future videos, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.